The way that you check and make sure that everything is operating, because with these guns, usually they don't, is to make sure that the cap is operating, the hammer is operating, and the way you do that is you fire a cap and you get a blast of air out of the muzzle. So that's what he just did. One of the problems with this, here's something. I get asked a lot, how do you know when to die? There's three ways. If your commander tells you to die at a certain time, he does. If you run out of ammunition or your gun quits operating, which happens quite a bit, you might as well lay down and die because you're not worth anything to anybody. If it's a hot day and you start getting those green and blue lines in front of your eyes, you better lie down and die before you do die. Okay? So that's the answer to your question. How do you know when to die?
Wasn't there also, if you just feel like dying, you die?
If you were under my command and you die before I tell you to, you're in big trouble.
You're already dead.
I will revive you from your death and hang you.
Well, what's the point of reviving me? Let me get fun out.
I'm a major. I can do that. Okay? See, all that important. You are... Come here, Matt. Take the drop. Imagine he has a rifle.
Okay.
The most important part of this man is right there. It's the trigger finger that shoots the rifle. If you die on the field or are seriously wounded, I'm going to pick up your rifle before I pick you up. Okay? Because I can always get another soldier. But a rifle's valuable. Feel better about it? Your enthusiasm is infectious. Okay? Now that's not with the sergeant. And that was generally not the way that the Confederates thought. And by the end of the war, the Federals had pretty much changed their mind too. Because they realized the value of their people. But at the beginning of the war, they were very much like the British. That the British officer tend to think that I can always get another company. I can always bring another detachment. So I can spend these people any way I want because I'm a senior officer. In the years since then, we have specifically changed our view because, in fact, these people became much more valuable.
Sure. I'm ready. So you know.
Okay, they're prepping the gun. The signals with the rammers on the wheel means that the gun is loaded and they are getting ready to fire it. As soon as they get a target.
I'm going to borrow that for the battle, and I'm going to use my cell phone camera, and I'll be on the camera, and you can be on that.
Thank you.
Sir.
In other words, to carry on what I was saying about the soldiers, no, you, the one that's turning around. Here we have a standard Civil War soldier, 1861, who has enrolled in the Army because you want to go to war and defend against those dirty bastards that are full of slavery in the South, right?
Yes, sir.
And you've been all the way through the 4th grade. Before your dad took you out to work on the farm.
Right.
And you've never seen a gun.
Right.
And you've never ridden a horse because you don't have one.
Right.
It's obvious that this guy is really worth a lot to the Army. Okay? That's all you got. You got a finger. Until such time as you show me something else, That's all you got to finger, buddy.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
And the problem was that so many people who enlisted in the Army had those kind of qualifications. That's the first round out of the firing ship, and just moving across the area here. There he is. Can you imagine 100 of those going off at a time? Now this is what they're looking at. They're looking at a sailing ship that's not going much faster than that. So if they could fire 1 round a minute out of these guns, they would have put about 3 rounds in the gun. That looks to me like a response from the Union back there. They would have put about 3 or 4 rounds each gun into that boat, and that's what we were talking about when they talk about firing slow-moving ships.
That was great.
Did both shoot? Huh? Yeah, both shot. I didn't see that.
Now the weapons that they would be using, the shells that they would be using in these guns would be solid shot or grape. Grape to tear down the rigging, solid shot to punch a hole through the hull. At this range, they're not interested in using langrage, they're not interested in using canister, and they're really not interested in using shell. Solid shot or grape.
That's so awesome.
Starboard, you just hit that fence.
Fire in a hole.
The 2 Confederate guns that are being used are mountain howitzers. These are small howitzers that can be taken apart and moved into the mountains on the back of mules. The barrel on one mule, wheels on another mule, the undercarriage on a third, and the fourth is for ammunition. These guns can go wherever a mule can go. Now they're relatively short range, as opposed to a larger howitzer or a cannon. But they are very effective at this range against the ship.
And then when they come out, you can take them by surprise, like, oh, let you know, you hold it up.
Now, if you see on a cannon, if you see people putting their 2 deals like this on the cannon wheel, that means don't approach, because you've got a hot gun. That means you've got a gun that fired but didn't fire. Okay? That means that they have to clean it out, so don't get anywhere close to it because it's dangerous.
How do they know? How do they know
when they put the jerk the fuse, and the fuse goes pop and the gun doesn't go bang?
No, I
that's
meant
the first
how do they
indication.
know when to go out?
What?
That makes sense.
Well, the commander of the gun knows what's going on.